The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Happy Friday and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world so we can take back control of our personal choices as well as our health and freedom. I'm Nico Haan.
And I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, 86 degrees. The sun is shining, a few clouds floating around. It's beautiful down here.
Coming into that nice fall time.
Yeah, and I have a brand new newsletter out. Got a lot of great stuff in
Good
there.
stuff.
We may talk about that a little bit. Please subscribe to that. It's only $10 a month. You get 2 issues a month for $5 each.
And the links in it are such time savers.
And
I mean,
a couple of times I had real long articles and I shortened them up, but got links to the whole article, so sort of compressed a little bit. But if you want to do some research, this is the place to find it. Also, please pick up some Primal Edge Daily Nutrition, so you can get on the bandwagon and feel as good as we do right here on TFNN. And you can do this all on the TFNN website. So.
And pay with Tiger dollars if you have those saved up.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it for sure. Now, we have a guest coming up in a couple of weeks. On September 18th, I got a chance to contact Ben Davidson from the Suspicious Observer.
Oh, nice.
He did a really nice talk at the Electric Universe Conference, which was in March. This was the second year that he was here.
Did you get the tapes of that?
What I did was subscribe to it. It's $99 now. I put it in my newsletter on the last page. So for $99, you get the whole conference. Very cool. I've gotten through 2 full days already. And I think there's 5 days altogether, the first one being short, but it's well worth the money. And you get to learn some stuff and what these people really are thinking. There's some real cutting-edge stuff happening there. There's a project called Sapphire, which is a whole project of an outside group from Canada researching the sun and finding out, indeed, is it electric or not, and they made a film on it, and that's coming out too. So pretty interesting stuff. But then Ben Davidson I've followed for a long time. He does this monthly report on the sun every single morning and has a lot of interesting videos. He also has a website called Suspicious Observer. Observers. You can find that on the web, and I think you'll find it real interesting because this is you'll be getting information from a scientist.
Absolutely.
And he's a good speaker, and he's very comprehensive and very detailed. And he's a good speaker, too, on top of it, so that makes it really nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. We are taking phone calls here at 877-927-6648. So if you'd like to join the conversation, please do so.
I saw this article that we put into our news feed that age is irrelevant when it comes to fitness.
Isn't that interesting, too? And,
I like that idea.
So what they're doing here is really talking about people who are 50 and over, kind of, and what they're doing and how they're staying in shape, and that really they're not losing anything.
Yeah, they say really its intensity is key to maintaining that spring chicken fitness as we age.
Yeah, and I think that's right. I noticed when I switched over from the long and boring type of aerobic activity that I used to do to the more highly intense aerobic conditioning, and also the jiu-jitsu is a high-intense aerobic conditioning at times when you're in the middle of a fight. So, and I found that really has helped me in so many different aspects. Not only my strength training is better, but I am less sore. I can go for longer periods. I, of course, have increased my intensity, too. Even as I age, I feel like I'm getting better. So I think this is right.
And one of the things that I like to always bring up, and I know I've brought it up a couple times on the show, but I think sometimes pictures are worth 1,000 words. And, all you have to do is really Google a marathon runner versus a sprinter. And it's quite obvious the difference in the physiology of these people.
Yeah, if you put them side by side, there's a huge difference in muscle tone.
The
and
difference between, anabolic and catabolic activities going on in the body. And I really do think as we age, building muscle is so difficult. We certainly don't want to do activities that will be so catabolic that we're breaking down everything that we're doing.
Well, this article states that both training volume and intensity are important to the maintenance of fitness as we age, but intensity is more important. Intensity is another way to describe a kind of stress that prompts adaptive physiological changes. The idea of using exposure to stress as a way to improve athletic performance, or at least not lose it, also comes up in things like Gifford's book on spring chicken, and there's a chemical engineer from California called Todd Baker, who is
World's
called...
toughest nerd.
Yeah, the world's toughest nerd. And all these people have done tests and things like that to prove these points.
So as a woman,
Yes.
when you read that right there, intensity, I know that there's a lot of women that go to the gym, and I'm sure they're just enjoying the activity of it, but they're doing these little 2 and 3 pound weights.
Yeah.
That's not really giving them the intensity.
No, because you really got to go beyond. If you have a real heavy weight and you use it short reps and do quite a few reps, then you're getting that intensity there. You have to be careful, of course, to watch the weight thing. But I do a lot of my intensity is also doing like on a little trampoline for 30 seconds, maybe a minute, sometimes 2 minutes. Shake it up a little bit and go as hard as you can and try to go beyond that point. The next time it becomes a little easier. A body does adapt, and it's a lot easier than spending an hour doing something. You can do it over in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
That's
I think another great machine to use in the gym is the row machine.
Yes.
And that's kind of a different one, giving the legs a little break, but using those upper body in that intense. Row like crazy.
Yeah.
And then just sit there.
Yeah. There's also, I have a machine that does both the rowing where you pull it backwards, but also do the pushing.
Oh, okay.
So you need to do both.
That's
naturally,
super. Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought that was really inspiring. So there's really
There's
no
still hope
excuse.
for us as we get older.
There's hope for us. That's right. And we can continue to feel that way about it.
Now, I found there was a book that's called Evolving Ourselves, and it was written by Juan Enriquez and Steve Gullens, I think the name is. And they're really talking about human diet and how it's changed over the years. And
this article said cavemen did not have cavities.
Yeah, and this really reflects back to what Weston Price said.
Exactly.
And, dental plaque provides a small window through which we view this massive evolutionary upheaval. Anybody who has been to the dentist knows how tough it is to remove plaque, because it's bad for you, but it's really good for science. So finding plaque in more modern humans, but going back to Neanderthal and to our other subspecies, we don't find the plaque.
There are there are some advanced dentists that are actually scraping plaque and looking at it under a microscope to get a better idea of what's going on enzymatically with their patients. That's kind of advanced stuff.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, for those of you all have heard my feeling about HCl and how critical HCl is to our health, and that it is in fact this Western modern diet of grains and sugared foods that has caused us to not be able to produce the HCl, the hydrochloric acid that our bellies used to produce to be able to digest foods in the wild. And as a result, we have plaque. So show me someone who's got plaque on their teeth at the dentist appointment, and I'll show you someone who's having too many grains and sugars.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's what impacts it the most. And HCl is really the stuff that makes bacteria in your stomach. So that bacteria can do its work and do that digestive process. And
absolutely. And the bacteria, again, we know HCl, as you know, are you aware that HCl is one of the most important methyl donors that we have? And methylation is how we break things down.
Right.
So never forget that important information that's going on in the stomach, the first part of digestion begins with your brain. And then we begin with
the saliva
and the amylase. But when it hits the stomach, that under 2 pH is so critical to starting the whole methylation, breaking down, and absorption process. So you want that good stomach acid.
Definitely. It says here, as human diets began to modernize, we began cooking and cleaning most of our daily food stuff. And a strange thing happened. The bacteria colonies in our mouths became far less diverse. We always talk about soil being less diverse. We talk about our food having less of the things we need in it. And it really starts with the colonies that inhabit our mouth. It's pretty amazing. So our hunter and gatherer ancestors really had a diverse population of microbes to assist them in health. And what we've been doing through our modern food, through our modern methods of cleaning it, dissecting it, making everything spick and span, we destroy these bacteria that are symbiotic to us and help us.
It's so true. It's so true. We're living in a sterile world, and that sterile world is affecting our health.
So we began to suffer chronic oral disease, something that became most bothersome and sometimes even deadly in pre-antibiotic and pre-brushing and pre-dentist era. We never had that problem because we were eating completely different. And it really started to show up, it says in this article, at a different time than I thought, because we hear a lot of things. Well, you know, we started growing things and domesticating things 10,000 years ago, folks, in a very, very small part of the world. Because if you get into Europe, and especially Northern Europe, that was wild into the Dark Ages. And this, consequently, into the Dark Ages, when they started being forced to change because there was less of the our environment around. They've been chopping and doing it for so many years. They started changing their diet and so on, and that's what really ruined everything.
Yeah, it's something else. I really think it's important to point out that a lot of people think it's brushing that keeps there's no doubt that brushing helps, especially because of the foods
Well, we
we're
had
eating.
to do the brushing because our natural microbes didn't take care of us anymore because we didn't have them.
That's a great point. That's a great point. What Weston Price, if you ever look at that book, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, which is a 1,000-page seminal work of Weston Price, these children that he photographed had beautiful dentition,
great
beautiful dentition, no cavities, beautiful white teeth, and they didn't brush. So it was really So we're going to take a look at our diet. And by the way, I want to make a quick point. There's a great dental summit starting. I think Natural News, a lot of people are affiliates for it, but it's the Great Natural Dentistry Summit. It's getting ready to start up. You might want to Google it, check into it, because as you know, I believe that some of the dental issues are really big players in our health.
That's for sure.
Between fluoride and amalgam fillings and root canals and diet and dentition and gingivitis and gum disease, I think there's a lot we can learn and teach our dentists, and hopefully.
Well, I think thank God for dentists because of all the problems we have.
Yes.
They really do help us along the line.
They need to be a part of the team,
but they need to be a part of nutrition too. Never has a dentist asked me, "What are you eating?" In fact, my doctor doesn't ask that either.
No, they don't.
And that's, if you go to a veterinarian, that's the first thing they're going to ask. What did you feed your dog or your cat or horse or whatever?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We're here to empower you, to empower your life.
And you can talk to us too at 877-927-6648. Pick up some Primal Edge, take a look at my newsletter, and Paige and I'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Well, welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle with Paige and Nico. And hey, you know what?
What?
Saw this article, does jiu-jitsu make you a better person? And all I could think is, well, it must, because I think you're fabulous.
Well, thank you.
And you know, in the article it says the beauty of jiu-jitsu is its ability to give you an honest reflection of who you are as a person. If you give up easily, it will show on the mat. If you are dedicated, it will show on the mat. And if you are an anxious person, you will be confronted with that anxiety on the mat. And if you are if you're a stinker, it will show up on the mat. That's not what the article said. I could go on and on about how jiu-jitsu can reveal your real nature, but tell me, Nico, this is such a big part of your life.
Yes, it is.
And I know how much you treasure it. And maybe Al can show this picture. Look at these bad booties on the screen. They look so, tough in their suits, but they also look like wonderful people.
Yeah. Well, I think things like jiu-jitsu is kind of unique, and the reason I was drawn to it was, of course, it's not an aggressive.
No, it's not aggressive.
It's all defensive.
Defensive and protective.
You learn defense first. It's very humbling because when you don't know the types of techniques, then you're always going in the wrong direction. And you can get frustrated because you have to forget the old. That's why it's nice to start when you're young. I started in my 60s. I had a lot of things I had to beat down, and still working on that myself. Yeah, but for
the new viewers, I mean, you're actually ranked in your age range, and you're like number 5 in the world.
Well, I have no idea what it is now. But the point is that any good discipline will expose your weaknesses and also expose the things that are good about you. I think any team sport can do that on a basis. I think jiu-jitsu does it on a deeper level. We see a lot of people that come through the dojo, and most of them quit before they get to the next belt, from the white to the blue.
It's tough.
It's tough, and you really have to talk yourself into it. But it does expose things for you. So if you have some really good traits, people see that, and you have some bad ones. The idea is that as you go through the different techniques and are sparring with different people, you'll probably eliminate some of the negative ones. Some people don't. Yeah. And therefore they don't progress as fast. Therefore, in their daily lives, there's going to be a weakness there, and they're kind of stuck where they are, and they're not going to go any further until they start learning the humility of it and the honesty of it. Because fighting on the ground and you're not kicking and punching, there's a real honesty that takes place. When somebody cranks my arm or tries to choke me and I tap out,
you're letting them know.
Letting them know that what they did was awesome.
Yeah.
And even though I could be dead, because I stop it by the tap. And
you said that's far enough.
That's far enough, yeah. And you can do that just about at any time. So it does expose you. People who don't want to tap, they have a little ego problem there. So instead of being smart,
that ego.
It can break it, or it can break your arm, and you see both.
Yeah.
So it's a very important lessons that are learned in this type. But also, what jiu-jitsu gives us is that tribal type of effect, where you have the teacher who is honored, but he's no more important than anybody else except he's the teacher. And we have some fabulous black belts in our community of Gracie Baja Clearwater. One is the world champion, AJ, but we have some other really, really technical people that I'm learning from that helps shape my game.
How many years have you been doing it now?
About 8 years almost.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That's wonderful.
I'm enjoying it, but I encourage everybody to find something that's passionate about physical activity, whether you go canoeing or on a kayak, or you do mountain climbing, or you just go for walks in the nature. Be passionate about it, then you're going to enjoy it a lot more. And then I think your life is better for it.
I think so too.
And I think your relationship with other people are better that way too. Because being in touch with nature, being in touch with a physical sport, especially where you're handling somebody else and somebody's handling you, it really gives you a confidence that when things go wrong, you are a little bit ahead of the game because you can see things that other people can't see.
And that's a really great point about being honest with yourself about what you really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And then making the time to do it.
Well, that's always the case, and that's the biggest obstacle, I think, in anybody's regime. Where do I find the time? Because I know if I commit to something, I'm going to have to do it again and again. Right. Otherwise, I'm going to beat myself up about not doing it. And that's always the battle. So I say spend an hour on yourself out of the 24. We spend 6 to 8 hours sleeping, and the rest of it's working, and stress levels are depending on what your job is. But if you love it, the stress levels go down.
Yeah, a lot of people are overwhelmed when I ask them, try and walk for 45 minutes or an hour a day. I say, why don't you just say this? I'm going to walk out my door and walk away from my house for 30 minutes.
There you go.
You have to come back.
That's right. I always feel that way.
So you guys come back. We're going on a little break.
Yeah, 877-927-6648 is the number. Give us a buzz. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. I want to address a couple of questions in the chat room. Danny from Atlanta was asking, what do you think of Krav Maga? Of course, it's an excellent martial art. I think the Israelis really started that, and they teach it to their special forces. And I know some people that have taken it. You know, all these martial arts have their place. I chose jiu-jitsu because of the way I feel about it. I don't want to be hitting anybody. Certainly, I think it's advantageous to do these other martial arts. And many people who take jiu-jitsu have black belts in karate and Krav Maga or Taekwondo, you know, all these different disciplines. Yeah, and they're all useful.
It's all great. They have great basis in terms of physical fitness as well as mental discipline. Yeah. And I think it was Jay.
Jay was asking about...
nasal rinses.
Yeah, nasal rinses.
I think one he mentioned was Alka Aloe. Not familiar with that one, but sounds like by the name of it, Jay, sounds like a good one.
But you have your own little secrets.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, you know, this goes back again to ancient Hinduism. The neti pot, which is using purified water and salts and simply pouring it in one nostril and allowing it to drain out the other.
Diagrams of this that are thousands of years old.
Absolutely. They knew this. Guys, the days of us taking responsibility of our own health means that we need to learn basic health and hygiene. And, we certainly do that with our cars and our expensive toys. We should view this body as an expensive toy and clean out the tubes. I do believe that's a very excellent thing, aloe being the most healing substance for mucous membranes, and that whole alimentary canal there is
it's great for your skin.
Cleansed, So think about inside. The tube inside of us and through our sinuses is lined in skin. That sounds like a good product. Not familiar with that one. I often have people use a product sometimes called Orego Fresh, which has saline and oil of oregano because of its kind of antibacterial, anti-infective properties. And I also like X-Clear. X-Clear, these are things you buy over the counter. You can certainly make these yourself, as I said, very inexpensively. X-Clear has xylitol in it. As you may well know, xylitol is a sweetener. And what's interesting about it, we use it sometimes, the bugs in the lining of your mucous membranes will often go for the sugar. Doesn't that sound familiar, folks? The sugar in our blood, the sugar in our body, so they will often be flushed out of the system. So xylitol helps them to be distracted and come on and be rinsed out. So I do think it's a nice thing. It's not a habit forming. It's just a good, healthy hygiene. So
yeah, the first time I ever tried it was just with basically salt water.
Yeah.
Salt water rinse.
It's fabulous just to do some warm salt water and pour it in the nose.
It's strange at first when you first do it, but once you get a little bit used to the feeling, it's a no-brainer. So.
Yeah. So I hope that that helps you out a little bit there. We saw an article about Coca-Cola aiming to confuse us about soda's influence.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and it keeps cropping up. And really, the sinister part of this, that I feel, is really when they use another company
a front man.
Yeah, kind of like a front man.
Basically, folks, beware. The food, chemical, and biotechnology industries have all built up intricate power systems designed to manipulate public opinion. And they use false front organizations and industry shills posing as independent experts, often with their wallets heavily padded, I might add.
Yes.
Many of you might be aware of Stephen Barrett, Quackwatch. Anyone who's been cited by Stephen Barrett should know that at least their stuff must work, because he doesn't bother unless it's someone that they feel threatened by. Coca-Cola funds the Energy Balance Network. That's a front...
Energy Balance Network.
A front group aimed at confusing you about soda science and diverting the attention from the evidence that shows soda is a major contributor to obesity, diabetes, and other diseases and chronic illnesses. So, by placing the sole focus on exercise and making you think that you can exercise your way out of obesity or a high-sugar diet, Coca-Cola is harming consumers, and this is very concerning.
We have many scams in our modern society, and this is one of the biggest ones. We're told to exercise our way out of obesity. We're told to exercise ourselves to health. When exercise can help if you do it smartly, but it also is a stressor.
And I want to tell you something about these front groups, these social media people. I'd actually love to meet one to ask him, what are you paid to do what you do? Because
lots of money.
They actually sit back and wait for comments to happen, and these shills inject themselves into the media discussions pretending to be regular people, when in fact they have a very clearly defined agenda to steer the conversation or insult the poster. And I have a perfect example of this. One time I had posted something about vaccine choice, and this is amongst my friends. I'm making a post to my friends, and literally within seconds of hitting the keyboard, some gentleman pops up with quite aggressive in saying, "Who are you?" To say this. I clicked on his profile, and you can tell these shills. They're usually very fake-looking profiles. Like they take pictures of their dog. They usually don't have a long history. There's not a lot of comments on it. They're just creating a profile, and they're constantly just sitting there and they're doing searches up in the search bar for the keywords in your post. Wow. So,
and it's prevalent on the social media, for sure, Twitter and all these things, but in the news too. You know,
absolutely.
we have such confusion. Of course, we have these exercise shows that are way over the top, and you know, Biggest Losers was one that I'm more familiar with because I've actually watched a couple of episodes. But they really punish these people, and they're not doing it in a healthy way. I wish somebody would come, and it probably wouldn't be great TV, come up with the answer to help these people out of that cycle of you know, what's happening to their body, that they get so large, that they don't have any more control. It's not that hard. I'm sure some of them have some kind of disease that makes it happen, but I think overall it's mostly the food.
Absolutely, and many times I'll see people and I get concerned when people are maybe judgmental at someone based on their size. And, you know, it's very obvious to me by looking at it that it's really just a way of storing toxins. These people are, are storing toxic foods. So tell Coke they're a joke.
Yeah.
Obesity is a serious public concern.
When we do our talks, one of the first things we ask people to eliminate is your soft drinks.
That's an easy thing, and you restore.
You hear that even in these other diets. If you want to lose weight, the first thing stop drinking this stuff.
You know, in my life,
don't go to diet. That's a trap in itself.
In my life, even when I used to drink sodas, because I think many of us did, I can't ever remember being able to actually even have the capacity to have more than one. Just something in my intuition told me.
Well, remember, the little Cokes used to come in the little 6 or 8 ounces. I remember when I first drank a Coke, I was living in Canada and was at the YMCA. They had it, and you put a nickel in, but every 5th or 6th time you wouldn't get one because it was like 7 cents. So they had to get their money back that way. So the person who got stuck, I don't know if anybody ever experienced that, but that's beside the point. The thing was, it was a smaller bottle. And then, of course, during the 70s and 80s, the marketing people says, why are you selling these small things? Why not go large?
Well, not only that, the other thing I want to point out is that, the Cokes that we have, the first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, and we know what that does to it is a toxin, destroys the liver, but you could actually go into other countries and buy a Coke, and it will be cane sugar.
Yeah.
Mexico, now, not that we think drinking cane sugar, drinking sugar is a good choice, but at least we're looking at a whole different, impact on the system by these sodas. If you accidentally have to have a Coke,
it's not
go
that
buy one
soda
in
as
Mexico.
itself is bad. It's the ingredients they put in, and just seltzer water is probably good for you in a certain way. In fact, Ray Peat encourages you to drink a soda of some kind, but I drink it as kombucha. So
right. The carbonation is what Ray. Really, I wish Ray Peat would say that.
I think it's the carbonation.
Not that I'm going to tell Ray Peat what he needs to do.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying. It's the carbonation and the bubbles. That I think the CO2, because he's a big fan of CO2. Yeah. We can choose healthier forms of CO2, and I like that. You're exactly right. Kombucha is a good choice, people.
Yeah, and I'm kind of hooked on it. I do a couple of those.
So my point is, go to Coke's Facebook page and tell him, Coke, you're a joke.
I love your sayings. That's wonderful. So, was it last week we were talking about TV? We were talking about, how television isn't real life and that they make it so exciting that we actually are dumbed down, and now we want that. And I think that really has stuff to do with the violence that we're seeing in our society, all these shootings. I mean, every day now, I hate to be a policeman, man. I respect these guys a lot. I mean, they're in the war zone now here in the United States. I never thought I'd even think of it that way.
Right.
But that's because of the underlying things of our society is going.
Well, this article that I sent you, The Business of War is the Cause of War, is a very excellently written article. It's in realtruthaboutlife.com. And it really hit me. The coverage, which is popularly called the news, is in fact nothing more but a propaganda mechanism designed to persistently shape public opinion in favor of war. What do you guys think about that?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And I think, of course, I think it's right.
Who actually benefits from war? It certainly is not the people on either side.
Not the ones fighting.
Yeah. I keep thinking about that Facebook group. I don't even know if it still exists. I should Google it. Israel Loves Palestine. This is the people. Someone made this, and they send.
No, we have no argument with the people. We have no argument with the people of China or North Korea. We have no argument with the people in Iran. It's the governments, So I think the government should just be fighting, not the people. I think they'll let the presidents or the Congress go over there and fight the Congress of whoever. That makes more sense to me.
Right. How many
put
congressmen?
Put your necks out in the line, not mine.
Or your children.
Or definitely not.
Yeah. How many congressmen's children somehow accidentally escape those opportunities to go serve in bloody wars, It says the business of war is a dirty business that profits off death and destruction while generating blood money for the profiteers. My thinking, folks, is that if we would spend less time trying to fight each other and try to, join together, what a different world this could be, and start to wake up to the tools that are being used to create the money.
So one of the questions on here is kind of nice. Well, they talk about Dwight Eisenhower, how he saw the industrial complex.
He warned us in that one talk. So did Kennedy.
So the question comes up: how do we stop the war machine?
Well, certainly not by fighting.
Right.
Right. I mean, we're
so that's the question I always have. How do we stop this insanity? We are in a thrill ride here of watching the darn market. We're gambling our money away. I like to keep my money. I know money is not the root of my happiness, but it certainly allows the freedoms that we have here in America.
It's a tool for you to do good.
That's right.
The wealthier you get, the more you can give. So you can live better, so you can give. So you can live more, so you can give more.
So, with all
Somebody famous said that.
Well, for all the things that are happening to us, with the propaganda, us being bombarded, us wanting to be patriots. We certainly like to get on the bandwagon. Yeah, the American flag, God bless America, all that stuff. How do we get out of this thing? That's what I'm always searching for, and that's really what living a primal lifestyle is about. We start with the food, then we look at maybe our social arrangement, and so now what kind of choices do we make? And that's the way I want to look at it. What kind of choices do I make of the people that I want to hang around with and the activities that I want to do? And that will shape my life, and maybe in some way it can help stop this war machine. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, because you can't force people. Certainly going to a movie theater or an auditorium and shouting out, "I want peace," doesn't help. It's the same insanity as the guy with the gun, except you're not hurting anybody, except you're bothering somebody who wants to watch the film.
Well, many people.
So we have to work on ourselves. It's the only possible way.
The man in the mirror, as Michael Jackson said.
Yeah.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
We
he
should
didn't
say
look
that
too
every
hard,
day.
though, I don't think.
Well,
with some of the activities that he was into. But the message is clear, for sure.
Yeah.
The message is we've got to look at ourselves. And I think if we, again, look at the start of it with the food, and then some of the activities that we do and who we hang around with, that shapes our lives. And we turn that TV on, we really don't know too much about what happens outside of our little circle here, except maybe that somebody will tell us about it. But the TV is what keeps us glued to be these patriots of America. Yeah, to do all that.
It really is. It's a tool to be used to distract us from what's really happening.
Yeah.
And there's so many great documentary sources coming out. Curiosity is something that escapes me.
Yes.
There's a new thing that's come up in my news feed. It's called Curiosity TV or something that looks like it's just filled with, documentaries and asking you important questions, We need to realize that war is an instrument to have us kill and be killed on behalf of corporate interests. On behalf of corporate interests. We should be refusing the very notion of war, no matter how much we are lied to and instigated to do otherwise. When people post things on their Facebook page and say, fighting for our freedom, I'm sorry, I get a little offended by that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel that they're fighting, and I honor that person for their sacrifices, for what they're doing for us, but I feel that they're fighting a bunch of rich man's wars.
Oh, there.
And it upsets me. And it upsets me
and
that
it's been
we
that
have this
way
loss.
ever since the kings and queens first started back in the eons.
So I want to say, let's all view this as an opportunity to turn around and think that the business of war is the cause of war. And the way we can fix it is by working on ourselves. Hey, we gotta get on a break. I get emotional thinking
Well
about
said, well said.
that. Okay, so
Wipe
we'll
those
see you.
tears away. We'll be right back, folks. The number here is 877-927-6648. We'll talk about the Health Signals newsletter next, so we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
You know what's cool?
taking something that's good for you, something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Steve Rhodes as he teaches techniques on technical analysis using pattern recognition, celestial charting, Fibonacci, and other tools. The Trader's Edge, next on TFNN.
Welcome back to the show, folks. This is Nico and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle. We have a product called Health Signals, which I put out twice a month.
And that's good stuff, guys.
What this is really behind this is that I want you to do research so you can make your own decisions on these things. And I try to find these interesting things that kind of steer you to what we consider the right way to go.
Yeah, all week we do a lot of research and produce a beautiful newsletter that has a lot of really great links. I mean, everyone loves this newsletter. Yeah. Everyone loves it.
So, we start off with the accidental discovery, and this is what we talked about the other day when we were talking about herbs and spices and things like that, to help you really make it very interesting meals and to make them healthy.
And to actually get the benefit of the medicinal herbs and spices. And really, that's what spices are.
Yeah.
They are really the earth's pharmacy.
Yeah. Article here about what is the healthy fats. We always talk about what we have a high-fat diet that we're on, and we certainly don't want to use inferior fats, so this is a good place to start.
That's a great primer for people who want to get that explained out to them.
And we, you know, because we talk about vaccinations a lot, I thought we'd give a little history in here about vaccinations and why we think they're not working.
And for people to really understand the concept of herd immunity.
Yeah.
Because it's been distorted again.
And this is kind of broken down into two phases where you can go right here and click onto the whole journal of all the different vaccinations and why, what happened, you know, during those times.
And this article was done by Suzanne Humphreys, who is MD.
She's awesome.
Brilliant, who really looked at the research hard and made a big change in her career.
Yeah, and she's on YouTube. You can just...
Suzanne Humphreys.
Yeah, on YouTube, and you can find some of her talks on there. Very interesting. Of course, talking about the next global cooling cycle, which we had talked about frequently, and we'll certainly get into that more with Ben Davidson when he arrives. It gives you some nice charts to look
exciting.
at, too. Green tea boosts brain power. We know this. Of course, coffee does. We talked about chemical programs that are going into the chemtrail arena. Quite extensive. It gives you some real good data on this. We know that depression is an inflammatory disease, but where does inflammation come from? Very, very great article, short little summary about that. We also have the inflammation about the predicting healthy longevity of people who are
and the tie-in of inflammation with longevity, absolutely. And I love this about the salt.
It's actually, the article is really about ketchup.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and it's from a book about salt and where ketchup came from. And then I have some great recipes here, crock pot recipes.
That's another perfect example of a condiment that a lot of people use but aren't aware that the number 2 ingredient in most commercial ketchups is high fructose corn syrup.
Yes.
But again, just buying
and
the ketchup.
And the nightshades.
Right, exactly.
So 2 problems for many people.
So that little bit of a condiment can really become an inflammatory food for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
if you're going to buy it where you don't have as many ingredients.
I say just do away with it, too. Sports compression, what's the science behind it? I use it. And a kind of interesting article about this. So I recommend you look into this. Also, of course, Primal Edge we have here. And on the last page, we have the link to the Thunderbolts project, which is the Electric Universe. You can go right here and see the broadcast. Of course, it costs $99. I recommend it highly if you want to learn about this stuff. It's a great place to start. And it'll really put you in a different realm. You know, a lot of the history of the Earth, of how we evolved, how we think the planets and everything react, are completely different than
what we were taught. That seems to be the case with so many things,
well,
Nico.
It really relates to the health aspect, to what we're supposed to be eating,
to our wealth,
the activities we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
to our health, to our wealth, to everything that's around us.
Yeah. Folks, thanks a lot for sticking around. 2 weeks, we got Ben Davis coming in next week. We're going to be just us two, and we're going to be having lots of fun. So, see you then.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.